You've played Evil Nun. You've run from her. You've heard her footsteps in the dark. But here's what nobody talks about. She wasn't always like this. Before the hammer, before the school, before the experiments, Sister Madeline was just a mother who refused to let her daughter die. And what she did to bring that daughter back is the most disturbing story in horror gaming history. Stay till the end, because I promise you, by the time this video is over, you will never look at that school the same way again. The year is 1911. In a small city in Poland, a baby girl is born. Her name is Madeline. She grows up smart, brilliant actually. She leaves Poland, goes all the way to Germany, to one of the top universities in Berlin, and earns her science degree. She comes back home, gets married, builds a life, and in 1931, she has a daughter. Her name is Elisa, and this is the name you need to remember, because every single thing Sister Madeline does for the rest of her life is because of this little girl. Madeline loved Elisa more than anything in this world, more than her career, more than her faith, more than herself. But then, the world ended. March 17th, 1938. World War II has begun, and Poland is being bombed. Madeline was traveling to America at the time. She didn't know what was happening back home. She couldn't know. And then the news reached her. Her family, gone. Her home, gone. Her daughter Elisa, gone. Imagine being thousands of miles away, on a ship, and finding out that the one person you live for no longer exists. Madeline arrived in America as a completely broken woman. And when you're that broken, you make decisions you'd never make otherwise. She decided to become a nun, to live out the rest of her days in peace and silence. But she couldn't let go. She couldn't stop thinking, what if there's a way to bring Elisa back? And then she heard about a school, Eagles Junior High School, on the surface, a normal school, Catholic, respectable, but there were rumors, whispers that this school had something hidden inside it, something dark. People said there was black magic practiced somewhere inside those walls. Most people stayed away from that. Madeline walked straight toward it. She had a science degree. She needed a reason to be there, so she applied as a teacher, chemistry and physics, and she got the job. But she wasn't there to teach. Every night, after the students went to sleep, Madeline searched, room by room, corner by corner, until one night, she moved her bed, and there it was, a trapdoor, hidden beneath her own bedroom floor. She opened it, went down the stairs, and found herself standing in a secret laboratory, with test tubes, with strange ingredients, with equipment she didn't recognize, and on the desk, a ritual book. Madeline sat down and started reading. That book changed everything. Inside it, she found rituals, ancient procedures, and one of them described something that made her hands shake, a way to bring the dead back to life. She didn't sleep that night, or the next. She started experimenting. First, she stole chickens from the school garden, brought them to the lab, killed them, then tried to bring them back. Failed. Failed again. Failed again. Because she had nothing left to stop for. And then, on one of those dark nights, it worked. A dead chicken opened its eyes. Madeline named her Roostel. And inside Roostel's body, she placed a piece of Elisa's soul. She did it again with another chicken, named her Mr. C. But chickens weren't enough. Elisa deserved more than that. Madeline needed a perfect vessel, a human body, young, healthy, compatible. And she had an entire school full of children to choose from. She started testing them, observing them in class, running quiet, unofficial evaluations. When she found one that looked promising, she kidnapped them. She told their parents the child was being punished for bad behavior, sent to a discipline room, locked away. The parents believed her. She was a nun, a teacher. Who was going to question a nun? If the child was useful, she kept them, ran experiments, stored them in the laundry rooms. If they weren't useful, she got rid of them. This went on for years. But then she made a mistake. She kidnapped the wrong kid. His name was William. And William wasn't just going to sit there and wait. William was different. Smart. Resourceful. He figured out what was happening. He found out about the 3 mutant chickens Madeline had created. He understood that those chickens were dangerous, and they were blocking every escape route. So he did something insane. He snuck into the secret lab, stole the magic formula from the ritual book, and using that formula, he created an antidote. He turned the chickens back to normal, by himself. As a kid, then he took all 3 of them up to the attic, and using the chickens to help him, he smashed through the attic floor. Madeline heard the crash. She ran upstairs and saw it. The cross, fallen. The floor, broken. The chickens, gone. And for the first time in a long time, Sister Madeline broke down. She fell to her knees, and she wept. And that's when Nazrat appeared. No one knows exactly where he came from. The game never fully explains it. But he came when Madeline was at her absolute lowest, crying, alone, everything collapsing around her. He told her he could hear her pain, and he told her he could give her Elisa back. But there were conditions, 3 conditions. 1, she had to be a good mother. 2, she could only ever worship him, no one else. 3, she could never leave the school. If she stepped outside before the 40 years were up, her child would die a painful death. Madeline looked at him and said yes. There was a flash of light, and something happened that defied all science. Everything she thought she understood. Madeline was pregnant. 2 hours later, a baby was born inside the school. But it wasn't a girl, it was a boy. Madeline stared at him. This wasn't what she asked for. She asked for Elisa. She asked for her daughter, but she convinced herself that this boy carried Elisa's soul inside him, that this was her daughter, just born differently. She named him Rod, and she raised him as a girl. She dressed him in girl's clothes. She gave him ponytails. She built him his own room, the pink room, and she never let him leave it. The pink room we see in the game, that was built for Rod. That's his entire world. William, still hiding somewhere inside the school, watched all of this. And he started to worry, because Madeline was making another mistake. Somewhere along the way, Madeline found a book about a demon named Baphomet. She got confused, or maybe she was just losing her mind. She started worshipping Baphomet instead of Nazrat, and Nazrat had been very clear. Worship only me, or your child suffers. The consequences came slowly. Her face started changing, wrinkles spreading, her skin deteriorating, her thoughts becoming less and less coherent. Sister Madeline was losing herself, and that meant Rod was in danger. William decided he had to get that boy out. William had a contact, a man named Joseph Sullivan, an ice cream man with a factory. Rod loved ice cream. Joseph knew the school. The plan was simple. While Madeline was distracted in the attic reading her Baphomet book, Sister Anda would hand Rod to Joseph Sullivan. Gone. Safe. William spread false rumors about Baphomet to get Madeline angry enough to go upstairs. It worked. Madeline stormed to the attic, furious, book in hand, and from the attic window she looked down. She saw Sister Anda handing Rod to Joseph Sullivan. She saw her ritual book being passed over too, and something inside Sister Madeline shattered. She went to a cabinet, pulled out a hammer, and she didn't stop until every single nun in that building was dead. She buried them in the garden. Then she went to the pink room, and she sat there, alone, swinging the hammer back and forth, the same way she used to swing Elisa as a baby. Madeline was now completely alone. She couldn't leave. She had 40 years left on Nazrat's deal. So she did the only thing she could. She wrote letters. A letter to Rod on every single birthday, sent them through Sister Philippa, the one nun she'd put under her control. But eventually, Philippa stole all the money and ran. Opened a pizza shop. Gone. The letters stopped. And Madeline waited for 40 years. And the moment those 40 years were up, she walked out of that school and started searching for her son. She found out he was the owner of Joseph Sullivan's ice cream factory, the biggest in the country. She went there, and the factory was on complete lockdown. What happened inside that factory? What had Rod become? That story is the story of ice cream, and I'm covering it in the next video. Subscribe so you don't miss it, because that lore connects directly back to this one in ways you won't expect. Drop a comment. What shocked you most about Sister Madeline's story? See you in the next one.